and teaching everybody to go back to basics. We are in the middle of page 38. Go back to basics. What is basics for you guys? Okay, but what is basic? So lead gen is the activity, but what would be a basic lead gen activity? Okay, so cold calling, circle prospecting, dialing on the phone. Okay, what's another basic lead gen activity?
Door knocking.
Open houses.
Open houses.
Open houses, door knocking. What are some other basic lead gen activities?
Oh, when you walk into a place and meet people, introduce yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so are we going back to basics? Because here's what I do know. For at least since 2002, when the MREA book was written, people had been door knocking, circle prospecting, holding open houses, actively prospecting on the phone, networking for 10 to 20 years prior to 2002. So if we just go back into the 80s when we had the second worst shift that our real estate market has ever seen across the country, the worst shift would be in 2007, 2008. People went back to basics. Now I realize that this is a double-edged sword. At one side we have technology that is pushing us to do things differently. It's making us become innovative. But also we have this long tried and true Route 66 freeway that not a lot of traffic on anymore. And that freeway consists of things like door knocking and circle prospecting and open houses and active prospecting on the phone. And you know what? I go down that path a lot and it's pretty sporadic. The scenery's kind of bleak and I'm not seeing a lot of new properties, But over here, down this scenic byway, up and through the mountains and the desert, consisting of technology, and I'm going to run my business through text messaging and social media and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. It's pretty crowded. Like, you got to plan 3 or 4 days to get across the mountain because everybody's stopping along the lines, taking in the scenery, all that stuff. Kind of get where I'm going here? So I think this is awesome, and I think that we need to go through the byway once in a while, and that's okay. And I would encourage you all to, you want to get your business up and running to the highest level, let's get on the freeway over here, even though it's less congested as it used to be. It's a tried and true method, and we know that we're going to be able to get to where we're going. Okay? So Gary writes in the middle of this, you do that by asking yourself for straightforward questions. What are my business priorities? When do they need to get done? Who is the best person to do them? And finally, how should they be done? We know the answers to the first question because it's a fundamental of the 6 priorities for your business. And if you go through the 6 core competencies, lead, generate, capture, and convert, we talked about that. I think I even sent you guys a text message on that through WhatsApp last week, and I said, we have got to systematically lead gen. I don't care how you do it, that's irrelevant. If you're systematically lead genning and you're not having the activities that you expected to have, I can coach you through that. Then why are you lead generating? To capture contact information. That's the reason you're actually lead generating. Then why are we capturing contact information?
Set appointments.
To actually set an appointment. Okay? And there is a now, and then there is a not now in between those. So lead generating to contact information capture. Some of you will get that right away, and some of you will not get it right away. And then what happens in between lead generate and capture? Like, what would be the job?
Have a conversation with the person.
Okay.
Okay,
so keep nudging them, building rapport, put them in the database, nurture them, follow up, action plan, to do next. You're just trying to bridge that gap.
I thought before initial contact.
So this is lead gen to capture. Hey, ring, ring. Hi, how are you, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson? Yeah, it looks like you were on our multiple listing services and expired. I'm so sorry to hear you didn't sell your home. Why do you think that is? Hey, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Okay, fantastic. I understand. You're probably getting a lot of phone calls from people like me today. I'll follow up with you next week. Click. Do you follow up with them next week?
Right.
Why is Keith Jones calling me? It's probably not. It's probably the market center.
You just have to put on your task so you don't forget to follow up. No, let me go on.
Well, so the job is to continue to lead gen that contact until you capture, and then when you capture, you convert. And I think we're giving up a little early.
Would you actually wait a week to follow up, or would you wait like 3 days?
You're tired, aren't you? You're like,
How you doing?
it was a long night on the computer, but I won. Would you know? I have a plan in place. It's a 36 by 12.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I simplify it and I call it 12 by 12.
Mhm.
Call, text, email 3 times a day for 12 days.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Okay, I was just wondering if.
Yeah, I don't put my opinion into the equation.
Just not to seem like needy or pushy,
Why not?
Wanna be mean pushy till they.
I'm sorry, where and this is an objection handler, and I'm gonna use it as the example. Where do we have the right to say that you, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, clicked on a button, wanted more information, put your home on the market for 6 months, and it expired? Where do I have the right to say that I can't be pushy? You're working, and you're moving and working harder and faster than I am. It's my job to keep up. So change the way you look at things,
Yeah.
and the things you look at change.
Okay.
And that's exactly how I would come across on that. No, my job is to contact you 3 times a day for the next 12 days, because I understand we're in Las Vegas and people have lives. Great. You'll do one of 2 things. You'll either pick up the phone or you'll block me. And when you pick up the phone, you'll do one of 2 things. You'll either talk to me or you'll tell me to F off. I just want to get through that. It's okay. I'm good.
Would you be that blunt with them?
It's my mindset. It's not that I'll be that blunt. It's my mindset.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me something.
Mhm.
Tell me, sorry, and that's usually what happens. Most people, 7, 10, 15 times will go, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy. Yes, and they'll downplay it.
Yeah.
Once in a while, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm out.
Mhm.
Get the hint. Well, I'm sorry, I can't read your mind through you not picking up the phone. Thank you so much for taking time now. I appreciate it.
Buy or sell.
Want to buy or sell? Okay. Okay. So 6 core competencies of a business: lead, generate, capture, convert. Any questions on that? Pretty basic, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. Second one: present the buyer and seller and get agreements. Hey buyer, welcome to my office. We're going to sit down, book 3 hours. We're going to go through my duties as a real estate agent to you, your duties as a client to me. We're going to look on the multiple listing service. We're going to make sure that you get approval to buy a home. We're going to go out and buy a home today. How's that? Does that sound like an excitement? Great. See you at my office tomorrow at 4 o'clock, by the way. Have this paperwork filled out and sent back to my home. Show buyers and market sellers. Pretty simple, right? Write, negotiate contracts, and then coordinate the sale to close. And if you do all of that, what happens last? You get to manage your money. So, Diane Kink from Woodlands, Texas says, more staff don't equate to more productivity. The phenomenal few can outperform, outproduce, and outpace the mediocre many. That cannot be farther from the truth. Some of you in this room will far outperform the majority in this room. It's the 80-20 principle. Does anybody know what that's actually called?
Wait, so you said.
80-20 rule is actually called what? Pareto's principle.
You said it couldn't be farther from the truth. Did you say
I
that is
couldn't be
true?
more, okay.
Couldn't be closer, yeah.
Couldn't be,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Mr. Fact Checker in the back. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that 80% of all of our team's production will be handled by the 20%. Your business success starts with generating leads and processes from there. Or actually progresses from there. Yeah. So what are we doing? Let's dive in on this for 2 seconds, because that is going to be the 4th tactic. What are we doing to generate our leads? What are we doing every day? What are we doing to capture? And what are we doing to convert to an appointment? And I want you guys to take the time to go back into your business to say, like, I'm systematically lead genning every day, and that's awesome, and I'm on it, and I'm killing it. 4 out of 5 days, I'm winning. 1 out of 5 days, I'm losing, and therefore I have day 6 and 7 to make up for that. And then, my conversations, my scripts, every day with every lead capture more contact information, yeah.
My question is, something that I've been having an issue with personally, and some other people might have the same problem as well, is at what point do you, cause when I'm working at something, so for instance, say I'm calling a list of a specific kind of lead type. At what point do I say this isn't working to the level it should, or I'm not getting the amount of results I want or need out of it?
Okay.
And when do I change my approach? Because I don't wanna be the type of person that doesn't get immediate success with something and then throws it away and goes to something else.
And how many days do we need to do that activity at a 10 out of 10 in order to make it a success?
That's my question.
Does anybody know the answer? 90?
66?
And I mean, smarts aside, I'm just going based off what Gary tells us we have to do.
66
So you
days.
have to try, you have to do this 66 times.
How
For
many
the
days do you have to
same-
do something to build a habit?
21.
No, 66 days to build a habit,
Really?
yep. So if you're doing it for a week and you're not having success, okay, well, is that your first week of script, of running that script? Is that your first week of objection handling?
Because,
Is it the first week of the month?
cause I've been lead gen for like open houses. And when you do that, like, it's very rare when somebody says like, oh, I'm interested, like, I didn't got anybody so far. Say like, okay, I'm interested. I got a few people, and the person I got, that was a month ago, like, refer me to somebody else.
Sure.
So,
So open houses are the highest conversion rate for have-not-mets.
mhm,
They are the highest conversion rate. Now, unfortunately, the funnel's really small,
mhm.
and so you have to do a lot of open houses
Yeah.
to get enough people to actually have a conversion ratio. But if you had 10 people through the room, through the door, you probably have one that will convert to, being able to put them in your database,
No,
being
of
able to
course,
get
I'm
enough
talking
information.
about like calling, like when you super prospecting that area.
She's saying she's not getting a lot of success with the calls. And
Yes.
that might just be it might be a script thing.
So circle prospecting is what? The second to the worst prospecting.
Really?
Yeah, what's the one thing that's worse than circle prospecting?
Cold calling.
Cold calling, that's it. So when it comes from the scale, you're second from the bottom by circle prospecting. Literally second to the bottom. So yeah, I probably 1 out of 200 maybe is what I would consider your ratio,
Wow.
okay? Because I'm gonna believe that cold calling is gonna be somewhere between 1 in 3 to 1 in 500.
Mhm.
Okay, and we know that have-not-mets, so any type of distressed property, expireds, BISBOs is 1 in 100, we know that. And we know that an open house is roughly 1 in 35.
Mhm.
And we know that a past client repeat and referral is roughly 1 in 15 to 1 in 25. So where do you wanna be? Yeah, so circle prospecting, I get it, and I think it's a viable part of your job.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
important.
from zero perspective, I got potential clients.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I get it, I understand.
But took me like, how long?
But, so we taught this, what, Brandon, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, we talked the laws of the pipeline
Yeah.
and, the level of conversion. So what's the number one opportunity to get now business?
Sphere.
Sphere of influence, okay? If you're brand new in real estate, if you just got your license, and at least if you're on my team or I'm coaching you, we are diving in deep on your sphere of influence. Because they know you, like you, and trust you. Now make no mistake, it's about 1 in 15, 1 in 25 that will do something with you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're gonna buy or sell. But Gary Keller says, if you had 266 people in your database, over the 24 months, you'll get 12 deals. 6 direct and 6 referrals. So if you systematically communicated with your database on a 36, 39 touch, over the course of 24 months, you would get 12 deals. Now what is the second highest opportunity for now business?
Expires, withdrawals,
Expireds, withdrawals,
BISBOs.
for sale by owners, and then open houses. So in a shifting market, one of your pillars needs to be one of those. It should always be your sphere of influence. Okay, that's a given. That's why in our systems, on our team, your sphere of influence is part of your database. And then it needs to be expireds, withdrawns, FSBOs, open houses. Because those are all people that have done what? They've raised their hand. They've said, hey, if the opportunity presents itself, I will buy and sell. And if you ask the right questions to an expired, what are they going to tell you? Everything that went wrong. And what's the one thing you're going to do?
Solve their problems.
Not that.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Expired, why do you think your home didn't sell? Oh, my real estate agent, he was horrible. All he did was put my home on the market and put a stick in the ground. Ah, okay. What's the second thing that you wish your listing agent would have done differently? Well, he never called me. He never talked to me. Okay, because we haven't heard that before, right? Well, fantastic. Can I tell you real quick what my team and I do? Well, we don't just do the 3 P's of prospecting, which are what?
Put the sign in the ground, put on the MLS,
Right.
Okay. We actually proactively prospect for every one of our buyers and sellers, and this is how we do it. Can I come over and explain to you? Oh, and also, we communicate at a really high level. We're a very team-centric environment, and so we have really good people in our company that focus on the things that they do really well so that I can focus on the things that I do really well. I'm excited to show you what we do. But one of the things that I do is I contact all of my sellers on Friday by 12 noon and let you know what's going on with your property and what we've done for the week, even if I've already talked to you on Thursday night. Just by knowing that, guys, is there a pretty good chance you're going to get in the door with an expired? Because 2 things an expired will always bring to the table as a problem. What are they? Lack of, and what's the second thing?
Lack of sales of the property?
Expectations. Okay, which can be translated to my seller didn't work for me, my seller didn't do his job, they didn't do I never saw my home on Zillow. Okay, lack of expectations. Hey, listen, we're in a shifting market right now, and you know what? We expect to have an awesome summer buying season, but right now, inventory's up 90% over January 1st of last year. 70% of that has been in the last quarter. Okay, there is low competition. Buyers are starting to take some time. However, here's the best part, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Last week, I saw a piece of information that came from one of my lenders that said that interest rates actually went down a little tick.
Oh, really?
So we might actually see buyers getting in the market a little sooner than March or April. And since most of them are probably getting their tax returns right now, I'm excited to get your home on the market today. Because even though there's not a lot of buyers on the market, they're really serious. Now, how many of you right now can get on the phone and talk to an expired and feel like you have enough confidence to get in the door? Yeah, National Association of Realtors said, National Association of Realtors said in 2017 at their annual convention letter that 82% of all sellers would use the same agent again if
They remember their name.
they can remember who they are. They also said in the same letter in 2017, I don't know what 2018's numbers are yet, that that 75% hired the first agent that got into the door. 50% of them hired the second agent. So guys, what's the job in a shift?
Be the first contact.
Be the first one.
Get in the door. It's just to get in the door. Because you know what? Sellers go to seller script practice just like buyers go to buyer script practice. Just like agents go to agent script practice. So just know your scripts and know your objection handlers. Because they're all saying the same shit. A seller's going to say, well, I think my home is worth a lot. A buyer says your home's not worth that much anymore. You should have sold it last summer. And an agent's just bridging that gap. Okay? Let's move on. Page 41. Capacity. We're not going to dive into this, but this is something 2 years ago I trained with my coach on this. Can anybody give me an example of capacity talent? You can read it. What's capacity talent?
somebody to be able to do something you tell them to do.
Not necessarily, Brad.
Somebody that goes above and beyond?
So, yes,
Versus
so
the-
capacity, so let's take all of you in the room, and this is what I want to touch on. All of you in this room are going to be one of two types of talent. You're going to be capacity talent, or you're going to be cul-de-sac talent.
What?
You're going to learn it, cul-de-sac talent. Okay, read the MREA, you'll learn about it.
Oh, yeah.
In my world, I have a translation of that. You are either what's called capacity talent, which is proven talent,
Okay.
or cul-de-sac talent is emerging talent. You, Josephine, might have been an awesome burger flipper at McDonald's. You might have been employee of the month, 3 months in a row for the year. Like you were a rock star. And you get into real estate, and you have a fear of opening your mouth.
Yeah.
You're an SC personality. You have no desire to get in front of somebody. You will sell homes all day long through your phone, your app, social media, Twitter, Snapchat, but you do not want to be in front of somebody. Would you be considered cul-de-sac talent, which would be emerging talent, or would you be considered capacity?
Cul-de-sac,
Cul-de-sac.
Okay, and why?
because you don't wanna grow beyond your current
Yeah,
position.
you don't wanna grow, yeah.
So in sales, in our job in sales, we have to look in the mirror every morning. We have to say, am I going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, that's super important. So in a shift, we have to do things slightly differently. We have to come from a different perspective. And you need to look in the mirror and say, if I'm doing the same thing that I did last year and I'm not having the results now, I need to shift my mentality. I need to shift what I'm doing. Okay? Always keep in mind that you can't do more with less talent. But with real talent, you can always do more with less. And so, I look at all of you guys, and some of you are seasoned real estate agents, some of you are brand new, and I say, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to the 80-20 principle. I'm gonna figure out who does more with less. I'm gonna plug into them. Because they naturally will do more production with or without me. I just wanna scale that. I wanna take somebody who says, I'm gonna do 12 deals this year, and I'm gonna be a full-time parent, and I'm going to, take 3 months off and hike, Mount Kilimanjaro. Just gonna use you as an example. And I wanna scale that by 25 or 30%. Okay? It doesn't really matter. Here it says results focused bonus-based compensation. Yeah, I kind of already had scaled back over the last 2 quarters about who we had in the team that was salary-based. We kind of pulled that out. Now everything is performance-based because the team is shifting just like the market. When you're done thinking this through, take stock and see where you are. For those already in the business, you need to find out who wants to work and can't. Your approach will be as simple as following a 7-step process. We're not going to go through the process, but I want all of you to read it, and I want you to look at yourself and your business. But go ahead to the middle of page 43. Remember that rulemaking isn't nearly as productive as working from goals, action plans, and standards. Be aware that top-down imposed change can create frustration, fear, anxiety, unrest, and even resistance. So, complete transparency. Craig's going to put himself out there. How many believe that Team Tiffy is a top-down organization? Raise your hand. Okay, how many in the room believe that Team Tiffy is a bottom-up organization? Raise your hand.
That's what
I think you
Okay,
bring us up.
good. I got a little worried for a second when Connor raised his hand. I'm sorry. My heart kind of jumped for a second.
I had to reverse that real quick.
All right.
Like, wait a second, that doesn't
All right.
make sense.
Oh,
But yes, we're
that's
bottom.
why I made the face.
All right, no, we're good, we're good.
My mind went a little
right.
jumbled there.
So, homework.
I was like, wait, what?
All right, let's reel it in, come on. Homework for all of us is ask ourselves and look in the mirror. Maybe read this in front of the mirror and look at yourself. And ask yourself, do I relate to the 7 steps of talent in a shift? Am I? Would John wake up in the morning and hire John to drive his business 20% in the next quarter? Because if John can't hire himself, what the F are you doing running your business right now? Go find someone else to run for you. But if John can, and John gets his ass up in the morning and says, you know what, it's been a shitty quarter so far, and I'm not giving up on myself. In fact, I'm gonna put more shit on my shoulders. I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna have results today. John needs to incentivize himself. He needs to say, you know what, I'm gonna hit these numbers and I'm gonna go have that vacation. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. And I'm gonna hit those numbers, okay? We're gonna we don't need to talk about scouting for talent, all that stuff, that's my job right now. But go to the middle of page 47. Everything must be extremely purposeful. Everything must be streamlined. The goal is to get right when you need to get right, with as few steps and as few people doing it as possible. That means less red tape and fewer distractions. It means breaking things down to their basics to figure out what is the least you have to do right now so that you can get the most done. So I talked to you guys in December, right, when we were doing our business planning, and I said, we're gonna cut our training. It's like the analysis paralysis. It's saying the same shit over and over again, and I get it. We're falling on deaf ears. And so we are working really hard to just pull everything in, get really streamlined, hold each other accountable. And we're kind of getting rid of the fluff. Because we don't need the fluff right now. And the team is holding each other accountable to a higher standard. Because at the end of the day, we have so many seats, we have so many leads, we have so many people on a platform, and we have a high cost for those people. So what are you doing in your business to hold yourself accountable? What are you doing with your team member next to you? So I'm so excited now. We're going to move into Tactic 4. We're going to spend 10 minutes on Tactic 4, and then we have some friends who are going to come in and talk about some things that I learned about a week and a half ago, and then we're going to dive into the sales meeting. So I'm going to go fast, just take notes, and then we can always kind of regurgitate this a little bit later. So fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on market. What is that? Like if you said that on social media, what would somebody get a hold of you and tell you that that is an example of? That is an example of exactly where we're going. Right now, that's where we're going. Even if we hit a hot summer buyer season, make no mistake, it's because top agents in the community right now are saying, I am not going to pull back during the shift, I'm going to double it. So we might have an awesome summer buying season. Is that a problem? Anybody going to get out of business because they did a little bit more business in summer? Anybody want to call Craig a liar and say, hey Craig, you and Gary Keller and all these mega agents in Vegas, you were all wrong. This wasn't a shift. Is that an issue?
No.
Okay, good. Good. I look forward to you calling me a liar. Don't ignore them and don't wait to act. Don't wait to act. These are early warning signs of what is most likely coming next. More inventory and fewer pendings. So last week, I saw Julian Batchelor post on social media. She's a top agent at Realty One. She said that there was a price adjustment of, I believe she said, almost 1,200 in 7 days.
Wow.
That means that 1,200 listings on the market and active had a price adjustment. More inventory and fewer pendings. Who in this room knows what our inventory is as of Sunday night? Huh?
8,000 something?
Are we at 8,000?
Yeah, we're over,
We're over 8,000? Okay,
yeah.
okay, fair enough. So do we know? Does anybody have
I
a
have
number?
the number here, off the top of my head. Wait.
So I would encourage all of you to know that every day. I would encourage you to wake up, jump on the MLS for just a couple seconds, look at your actives and pendings, and make that part of your day. Why is that important? What happens?
Can't argue with facts.
What happens when, generally speaking, okay, this is going to be our country's MLS, we hit north of 10,000 actives on the market? What happens? What are we now considered? Okay, and there's a little flexibility there, okay, but we are now considered a buyer's market in an economic term, okay? Some people will argue with you that Vegas goes, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, the pendulum we go from extreme seller's market right past a neutral market and into a buyer's market. And our pendulum is so heavy that we tend to sit there for a while. We don't have this constant swing, okay? Which means that we go roughly 10 years in the last seller's market, so up through 2006, it took 10 years to get there, and in 18 months, we tanked and went to an extreme buyer's market. So that was in 2008. What are we now?
2018.
Okay, so it took 10 years now, so now twice in the last 20 years, I'm able to see that we were in a seller's market for 10 years, and I know that the last shift, which was 2007, 2008, it took 18 months. Just looking at numbers, I'm not a smart guy, but just looking at numbers, is it safe to say that if we just go based off of numbers of history, we could become a buyer's market in how many months?
Oh,
No,
we're at
now.
16.
Less now.
Okay,
Right now, yeah.
okay.
We're at 7,500.
And what, and
We're
so,
getting close.
so, all right, you guys got the right answer. And this is what I heard, because I was not in real estate at that time. This is what I heard when I talked to agents that were in a top buyer's market. They were selling homes in like bars and shit like that. Like mortgage company was like, hey, can I get you a Scotch and soda sign here? I got you a home. Like that's what was happening in 2006. And 18 months later, people were like, well, what the hell? What happened? We didn't see that coming. What happened in October? Market came to a screeching halt in the month of October. Everybody's got an excuse as to why that happened. And then November, December, we saw some listings go up. We saw some buyers close. December 17th, we saw interest rates go up. I would encourage all of you to know what your actives and pendings and solds are every day.
But so you mentioned like the
What'd you
interest
say,
rate
Louis?
went down a little bit?
7,500.
You mentioned like the interest rate went down a little bit?
So yeah, so last week I heard, actually Larry was in the office.
Yeah.
And he said because the bond and stuff kind of went down a little bit, it reflects the mortgage, and so there's a little bit of savings right now in interest rates. But that happens
Okay,
often.
But then they don't stay like
But they're a
that.
little low right now.
Yeah.
No, but right now they're a little low. There's a section here on page 50. It says read. I expect all of you to read that. It was really good. And if you look on page 51 at the bottom of the first paragraph, somebody want to read that? Page 51, last paragraph, it's highlighted.
You love people.
Top, first paragraph, last line.
Oh, okay, says you have to be motivated to find the motivated.
So what does that mean?
I know, right?
If you learn nothing else today, what does that sentence tell you?
You gotta push yourself, find those who want to be pushed.
It's not easy to find the motivated people, so it's gonna take motivation from you to.
I would just say birds of a feather flock together. If you're not motivated, how are you gonna be able to surround yourself with like-minded people?
Okay.
It's my job, nobody else's.
Starts with me.
Are there always buyers and sellers no matter what the market is?
Yes.
Let's say we become a buyer's market. What's one thing we're really searching hard to look for?
Right.
Like,
Listing
who in this room is a
markets.
buyer? Who in this room is a buyer? Raise your hand. Who in this room is a buyer? Everybody should have their hand up. Because this is what we have to understand. I am a buyer, provided the opportunity is there.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I can get out of my 11-month lease that's left? You mean to tell me I can buy a home with little to no money down? You mean to tell me that I'm an independent contractor and I've never paid taxes for the last 5 years, but you can give me a stated bank statement loan? Hell yeah, sign me up!
Yeah.
Are you motivated to get your behind out there and find the people that if they hear what you're trying to tell them, they would be motivated too? That's what the sentence is actually saying. Get off your butt, quit waiting for people to knock at your door, because trust me, you're not the first person they're knocking on. Go out there and have great conversations. Give things to people that nobody else is giving them. Give them value, give them resources, give them information, knowledge. Communicate at a high level so that you can identify their motivation. Because make no mistake, If you're motivated to do that, and you can spark something in them, they're motivated to buy or sell with you. You'll love helping people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them. This is our job now in real estate. In the last 36 months, we were gatherers. What does that mean?
That they were coming to us.
And I love this. Gary said this on a webinar not too long ago, like last week or two. And I was kind of like, huh? Thought we were a tech company, not a Whole Foods. What is a gatherer? What is the mindset of a gatherer?
Grab as many as you can. It's an abundance mindset.
Yeah, okay. Grab as many as you can. You know, you're in the garden, pick the tomato that you need for today, know that the tomato tomorrow will always be there. And what is a hunter mindset?
Stop.
You're being more
You
proactive.
have to go out.
Gotta get
actively
You gotta
search for
have a
positions.
strategy.
Who would you rather hire?
Hunter.
Why?
Whose inventory?
Just kidding.
Because it
Hunter,
doesn't
for
matter,
sure.
for ours,
Hustlers.
it's market based and it doesn't matter what the market is, it always is, but we have to go out to get it.
2 claps. Good job. You hit the nail on the head. Doesn't matter the market.
Yeah.
If you are a hunter, you will always kill your prey in any market. I heard on Facebook, people were posting crap about open houses on Saturday. They're like, I was going to do an open house on Saturday, but it was raining and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there going, yeah. I mean, my team did an open house on Saturday and they had 20 people walk in the door. Sucks to be you.
Sorry, you're helping us didn't do anything.
Because you were a hunter mindset.
Yeah.
You were not a gatherer mindset. Good job. Moving on.
And the signs was also.
Middle of page 52. From a distance, I thought lead generation was really difficult. But after I diligently applied myself to it for a reasonable length of time, what's a reasonable length of time? 66 days. I came to see that it was actually quite easy and could even be fun. I was confusing effort with enjoyment. I also thought I was going to be too busy and wouldn't have time to lead generate. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to lead generate and therefore I wouldn't have time to be busy. Like, I think that actually should be backwards. Because if you really value a team environment, nobody succeeds alone, 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle, and you realize, let me do what I do really, really well, and let everybody else do what they do really, really well, and let's not do their job and let's not have them do mine, and your job is lead generation and conversion, you will do more business, you will generate more per dollar producing activity, and your wealth will skyrocket. But unfortunately what happens is, I thought I was going to be too busy and wouldn't have time to let it lead generate. Because people will lead generate, they'll get business, they'll focus on the business, they'll spend the money, they'll go back and they'll lead generate. And it's the cyclical cycle that we talked about 2 weeks ago. Okay? Highest dollar producing activity, we lead generate, we get business, we fall off, we service the business. Over here 3 months later we get paid and it's cyclical too. So let's just do the right thing and let's lead generate every day for 4 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours a day, whatever that is, and that's our job. I know, really successful real estate people have a really boring job. Like, that's what you need to understand here. Really successful real estate people have a very boring job. They lead generate. Make no mistake, they lead generate. So if you got into real estate because, and I'm just talking now, but if you got into real estate because you love to open up homes and you love to like turn on lights, like I had to show a home Saturday. I swear to God I was going to call you guys. I was so close to saying, Jesus, get me out. There are so many damn light switches in these 3,000 square foot homes. Jesus.
What a bummer.
Get me back lead generating, get me back running the business all day long. My dollar producing activity was like less than $5 an hour. Really successful people lead generate. So, Brandon, you asked in the very beginning, how long do I need to do something before I realize whether I'm going to have success at it? Right here, middle of page 53. it became obvious to Gary that everyone has to master the specific and meaningful scripts, dialogues, and skills of lead generation to be really successful. So I would encourage all of you to do it for 66 days, do it with the same script, overcome the objections, and on the 67th day, go back and look at your activities. Go back and look at your lead conversion. Go back and look at your contracts. Go back and look at your closings. And then scale from that. You go in for 1 week. I mean, trust me, you put me in an open house for 1 week, I'm giving you all a million reasons why I'm not happy in there. Open houses don't work for Craig. I'm good. Why do they not work for Craig?
Craig has no eye.
I don't have an eye. I don't want to chit chat with anybody.
You wanna buy this home? No?
I stand in the doorway. Hey, how you doing? Hey, listen, I got a little thing here I need you to sign in. Is that okay? Cool. It's not? All right. You're not going to buy a home from me anyways. Why come into the house? I come from the place people want what they can't have. You came to my door. You want in the house. Let's just go ahead and get the paperwork out of the way. Now that doesn't work for everybody. I get it, which is why I don't do open houses. I'm tired of security getting called on me. But for the rest of you that have high eyes, that love doing open houses, okay, get really good at it. Okay. All right. We're going to, last page 54. I already said it. Bottom of first paragraph. Stop doing what doesn't work. Figure out what does work, and then ramp up on that. Figure 10, it's going to tell you. And we actually need to do this, Josephine and Patty. Patty, where are you? Patty. Oh, Patty. Patty.
Patty.
Patty.
Papi.
I just see a blank room.
You should know.
Papi. We wanna do this activity?
No, so I want to go through CTE. I want to find out where all of our closings came from last
She
year.
doesn't even have
I
a
want to
human
list them all
face.
out, and then I want to focus on the top 5 and have another conversation on that. Okay, she's not there. So page 57 at the top, it says when a market shifts, it requires you to take a step back and immediately stop doing what isn't working. Hey Patty, how are you? And immediately stop doing what's not working. By the way, you're not alone. What is happening to you is happening to everyone else in your market. The advice that works for you is the same advice that will work for them. The ones who succeed will be those who understand this is the quickest and this,
Speak first, basically.
yeah, and that needs to be you. Those who understand this the quickest and do something about it, they will win. Your broker here, Sharon, says she loves it when a market shifts because she's able to see top producers adjust. And she says, and sometimes emerging talent is a top producer. They just don't have, they don't have the results yet. And she loves to watch emerging talent and proven talent adjust because that's the true definition of top producer. Mega agent, top producer, whatever you want to call it, different places in the world. Because they will. They smell something's not working right. They smell that there's panic in the business. They see, people like doing this, and they adjust. And they're like, oop, there's a roadblock here, let's just go around, let's take a detour. And they take market share through that, and so they grow the business. Last paragraph at the bottom, it says, most agents don't give adequate thought to building a successful lead generating program that works in any market. A shift makes it absolutely necessary. Anyone who doesn't move to mastering lead generation usually gets shifted right out of real estate. The proven formula you can use for truly understanding what will work in your market is the 2 M's of lead generation. What is it?
Massage.
So the shift doesn't talk about it at a high enough level here. I would encourage all of you guys to go back to the MREA book and read because it'll dive in deep about the message and the method. And then, middle of page 59, it says the smartest lead generators know that what, John?
People respond to messages that matter to them now.
So what did we just coach through 20 minutes ago?
Very passionately.
that we were on the same
The
page the whole
smartest,
time.
we were, yeah, and we just took the scenic route to get back. Hey,
Yeah.
take over, go for it, kid. Yeah, the smartest lead generators know that the message matters the most. So what do we do? Does everybody in this room have access to market reports?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do. And does everybody think that every real estate agent in real estate has access to market reports?
No.
Yes, they do. And does everybody believe that somebody can click a button and that market report's gonna get sent to a database of people?
Yes.
So what are you doing differently?
Knocking on the door and saying, "Here's your market report."
Okay? We all have the same tools. What are you doing differently? What is your message? What's your message? Set yourself apart. The second principle of lead generation messaging is your message must make an offer to get a response. Wait a minute, what did it just say?
Make an offer to get a response.
Okay, so and we can dive deep into this, we're not going to today, but your message needs to do one of two things. It needs to either ask for a direct offer. Hey, it looks like your home came off the multiple listing service as an expired listing. I'm sorry to hear that. But listen, I specialize in homes that didn't sell the first time around. Can I explain more to you? Blah, 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 blah. So can I come over this afternoon and show you why my team sold 109 homes last year, 4 years in the business? Or, I see your home came off of the multiple listing service as an expired listing. I'm sorry to hear about that. Why do you think your home didn't sell? Oh, because your agent, went to Tahiti for 3 weeks after listing your home? Well, you know what? I understand a lot of agents do the 3 P's of prospecting, put it in a sign, put it on the multiple listing and pray. We don't do that. We actually do a lot more. Can I come over tomorrow and show you? No? Okay, well, when would be a good time? Oh, you're going to keep it off the market for 6 weeks? Okay, well, could I send you a market report every month so that you understand if your property's going up or down? I'll also throw in some other stuff there. Don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. That's an indirect offer. So I want you guys to really dive in on your conversations. You cannot get on the phone now and say, hi, are you looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate? No? Do you know anybody who does? You can't say that. You could say that for the last 36 months because it was a seller's market and homes went under contract relatively fast and buyers were frustrated because they couldn't get even a remotely qualifiable home. Make no mistake, the market owes you nothing now. You are no longer a gatherer, and they ain't got tomatoes. Okay? You're a hunter. Sharpen whatever tool it is you're using, a crossbow, machete, a stick. Sharpen it. Okay? Make sure it's the sharpest tool. Go out there and be calculated, be articulate, laser pointed, and go in for the kill. Okay? Any questions on that? Thank you very much. So if we blow past to page 66, middle, it's highlighted. Page 66. Remember that prospecting is about converting your message to effective verbal dialogues and scripts that you must practice and learn. So if you're not in script practice and you're not learning, and I don't want you guys to just show up. I'm listening. I encourage you in script practice, and I think, Brandon, you need to make this part of I think this needs to happen. This would be my recommendation. Don't just show up and start running scripts. I would recommend that the team do one of two things. Either we take a major objection from yesterday that somebody had, and we run that objection in a group, and we are doing a 1x20 script practice. What did we learn? Let's do it again. Let's do it differently. Or you all take your objection, your highest objection from yesterday, and that's the script that you run.
Or maybe talk about more like the real situations in the market right now.
Well, that's, the
Yeah.
script practice is about
Yeah.
actually role playing
Yeah.
through what you've already, we have trainings and account